Longevity begins where mindset meets discipline. Welcome back, guys, to the Leaders Realm podcast, the space where we consistently focus on the no-fluff way to activate a beast mode mindset and unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Tony Cammarata. I'm a certified optimization and longevity practitioner specializing in mindset, nutrition, and peptide strategies. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm excited to share with everyone that I've recently obtained an internationally accredited certification as a biohacking and longevity coach. So if you're wondering, hey, where's Tony been? Well, now you know, guys. So today's episode, it's a big one, and it's one of my favorites so far. I want to pull back the curtain on the metabolic crash, the silent, widespread epidemic that's sabotaging our energy, focus, longevity, all without us even realizing it. It's that slow unraveling of your body's ability to regulate hormones, burn fat, recover properly, and maintain stable energy. Most of my clients these days have one thing in common. They all feel like they're doing the right things, right? Eating relatively clean, trying to move their body, working out, working hard, staying busy, but their energy is completely tanked. Their bodies are changing in ways that they never expected. They feel like they're aging and fast forward. I hear this so many times. Does this sound familiar to you? Well, join the club, guys, because this was me a few years ago. Now, one thing I really need to make clear before we get started is this is not in any way about vanity or weight loss. This is about how we age, how we either break down or build up in the second half of life. And I've got news for you. You have way more control over your health span and your performance than you've ever been led to believe. So let's unpack the crash, and then I'll share some tips to create that stronger version of yourself yet and really bring you back to where, call it the let's refresh the engine conversation today. So sit back, grab your coffee, of course, with that protein, and let's get to it. So people ask, what do you mean by the metabolic crash? It's kind of simple. Pretty detailed, but it's kind of simple, right? So the metabolic crash is exactly what it sounds like. It's a full body slowdown that affects how you burn energy, how you recover, how your body responds to stress, food, sleep, and movement. But here's the danger. This doesn't happen overnight. This creeps in slowly, quietly. Then you wake up one morning and you're wondering, what in the hell is going on? What has happened? Here's what the crash looks like. You start to gain weight in places like your belly, your hips, your thighs, your face. And all of this is happening despite what you're eating. Whether you eat more, less, healthier, it just continues to happen. You wake up tired. You're running on energy drinks all day just to make it through the day. Your workouts, they feel harder or they even feel pointless sometimes because you don't feel like you're getting any gains. And that's even if you have the energy to do it. You're getting sick more often. You're dealing with more inflammation. You feel that loss of fire mentally, physically, emotionally. Your sleep quality is just horrible. It's in the tank. Your libido, your intimacy drive completely disappeared. And yet, when you go to the doctor and you voice your concerns and they check your blood out, you hear these words. Oh, you're fine. You're just normal for your age. Guys, can I be blunt with you? You're not fine. In fact, you're not even normal. Stop buying what they're selling. The notion that being normal for your age is normal, I call BS. In fact, that's what I did almost 4 years ago. I heard those same words and I thought, I don't want to be normal for my age. I want to feel normal. I want to be normal. I want that energy back. I mean, at what point did it become okay and we decided it was okay to say, it's fine. It's okay. I'll be a fat sloth with diabetes and high blood pressure and just accept this to be normal. If we were talking face to face right now, you wouldn't be able to tell me that. If you did, I'd definitely say there's something wrong. It's time, guys. It's time to wake the hell up. We have an entire life ahead of us. Live it to the fullest. Stop settling because someone or some doctor decided that you're normal for your age, so it's okay. This, guys, this is the crash. This is what's affecting millions and millions of high-functioning adults who don't know what's happening until it's already in full effect. And make no mistake, guys, this happens to both men and women. This is not about willpower. It's about biochemistry. Good news? Yeah. The good news is we can reboot through optimization, through fixing your mindset, smart nutrition, longevity strategies. So why does this crash happen? So I really got to stress to you this. This isn't about aging. It's not about weakness. It's not laziness. And it's definitely not a personal flaw. They want us to believe that it's all genetic, and it's not. Most of it is natural, yes. But here's what happened over the years. You see, we're responsible for the acceleration, yes, and it's because of the crap we put in our bodies and what we're told is normal. I could spend hours and hours on this subject alone, but I'm going to save that for future episodes. The metabolic crash is where I really want to focus in on today. The metabolic crash is a perfect storm of biology, environment, and behavior colliding over the years. The truth is, your body's been taking hits long ever before you felt the crash. So I want to break it down piece by piece. And I want to start with, let's start with hormonal decline. This starts in your 30s, guys. It accelerates into your 40s, into your 50s. They're your master regulators: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, growth hormone, just all naturally declining. These hormones are not just about reproduction like most people think. They're the key to regulating the following: muscle mass and strength, where and how you store fat, energy levels and recovery speed, mood, stability, mental clarity, drive, even your confidence. There's so many people that between depression and the highs and the lows and the quick fix when they go to the doctors, oh, take this pill, you're going to be fine, instead of addressing the root cause, which is our hormones, guys. They're like, how do I put this? Declining hormones, imagine they're like a weak Wi-Fi signal. The connection is still there, but everything buffers. I mean, imagine your internet's kind of crappy. You call up your carrier and they say this: oh, I'm sorry, but you have to go back to this. You remember that sound, right? Now, you wouldn't accept that, would you? In fact, you'd probably lose your mind, wouldn't you? I know I would. Imagine having to go back to that. If you wouldn't accept that, then why are you willing to accept declining energy, declining mood, recovery, even your confidence? All because, it's just because you're getting older and it's normal. BS, guys. Next is cortisol dysregulation. Imagine that cortisol is like a smoke detector in your house. It's perfect when there's a fire, right? We expect it to go off when there's a fire. It's going to save our lives. But how exhausting would it be if it goes off all day long, anytime you turn that stove on, anytime you hit the button on the microwave? Let's face it, guys, life is a constant fire drill these days. Work deadlines, kids' schedules, bills, social pressure, toxic relationships, too much caffeine, not enough sleep. Cortisol is designed to be a short-term lifesaver, a built-in alarm system that mobilizes energy, sharpens our focus, and helps us survive in crisis. That's fight or flight mode in action. If a bear were chasing you, you'd want that surge, wouldn't you? But most of us, we're running from inboxes, traffic, endless responsibilities. Our biology doesn't know the difference, so the alarm just keeps on sounding, on and on and on. And here's where it turns really destructive. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, it doesn't just make you feel stressed. It rewires your metabolism and your body chemistry. I'm going to say that again. It rewires your metabolism and your body chemistry. It prevents fat burning by telling your body to hold on to that energy just in case, just in case I've got to run from that bear. It slows recovery. It leaves you sore, drained, less resilient. You have no bounce back. It blocks the smooth function of other hormones like testosterone, estrogen, thyroid, which you need for energy, mood, performance. It disrupts our sleep cycles. So you wake up tired and you never feel like you got a chance to recharge. Bottom line, chronic stress locks your body into survival mode. Instead of thriving, you're stuck conserving. Instead of burning, you're storing. Instead of energy, you're living in fatigue. And the crazy part, so many people live for years in this state, thinking, I'm just getting older, when really it's their smoke alarm blaring nonstop, robbing them of life. Then we have the issue of muscle mass. After the age of 30, unless you're actively training against this, okay, I'm going to throw that in there, we suffer from muscle senescence. It's the gradual and relentless loss of muscle mass. Studies show that the average person loses 3 to 5% of their muscle every single decade. And that rate accelerates as we get older, unless you do something to counter it. By the time people hit their 50s or 60s, man, they've lost a huge portion of the very tissue that keeps them strong, mobile, metabolically efficient. So why does this matter? Because guys, muscle isn't just for looks. It's the engine of your metabolism. Think of it as that high performance engine under the hood. More muscle means your body can burn fat more efficiently, regulate blood sugar with precision, sustain higher energy output throughout the day. It's like having a bigger engine that just runs smoother, faster, more powerful. Less muscle means your engine has shrunk. It's weaker. It's less powerful. It's like taking that little 4-cylinder up the hill versus the 8-cylinder. It's burning less fuel, which translates into slower metabolism, more stored fat, and less vitality. And here's the real kicker, guys. Losing muscle creates a vicious cycle. The less muscle you have, the easier it is for fat to creep in and take its place. And fat isn't just stored energy. It's metabolically active. It releases inflammatory chemicals called cytokines that poison the system from within. This low-grade chronic inflammation accelerates aging, it damages your hormones, disrupts recovery, and it compounds every single factor of the metabolic crash. It seems like everybody I speak with these days is suffering from inflammation. It really is. It's freaking scary, guys. Over time, man, this process doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you live. Less strength, more fatigue, greater risk of falls, fractures, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. The list just goes on and on and on. The crash, it's not just about vanity. It's about survival, longevity, and most importantly, guys, the quality of life. That's why building and preserving muscle is not an option. It's a non-negotiable. Forget about bodybuilding. This isn't about bodybuilding and powerlifting. This is about life building. Muscle is youth. Muscle is resilience. Muscle is your insurance policy against the metabolic crash. Next we have, and this is a big one these days too, I want to talk about blood sugar and insulin resistance. Think of your blood sugar like an electrical circuit. In a healthy system, when you eat, glucose flows smoothly into your cells, gets converted into energy, and powers your body like a well-wired home. But decades long of heavy carb meals, constant snacking, processed foods, hidden sugars, and way too much sitting have the same effects as overloading the circuit. The wires begin to fray, breakers start tripping, the switches start to wear out. The system just can't keep up with the load. But here's what's happening inside your body. Your insulin receptors, the bodyguards protecting your cells, they get tired, guys, and they get almost numb from overuse. Over time, this creates insulin resistance where your cells stop responding properly to the insulin signals. Glucose now lingers in your bloodstream instead of being used for energy. Your pancreas recognizes this and says, oh, wow, I got to get to work. And it starts pumping out even more insulin to compensate. And the vicious cycle gets deeper and deeper. This is a cycle that comes with real consequences. Energy crashes in the middle of the day when your blood sugar spikes and crashes. Sugar cravings, I feel like they're unstoppable because your body is not fueling efficiently. How many times have you heard someone say, or even yourself, oh, my sugar's dropping, I need to get something? Guess what? It's the full-blown metabolic crash at that point. Then there's the belly fat storage. Since excess glucose gets shuttled into fat cells, especially around your midsection, we have brain fog, irritability, as your brain struggles with the inconsistent fuel supply. This is why so many people hit that afternoon wall, or they feel like they need energy just to survive. Let's be real, guys. It's not a caffeine deficiency, I promise. It's a classic metabolic dysfunction. Now, here's where it gets interesting, right? So there's cutting edge science that you can use here. There are peptides out there that can help reset and restore your insulin sensitivity. It gives giving your electrical circuit the upgrade that it needs to function normally again. One of the most popular are GLP-1s. So GLP-1 receptor agonist helps retrain your appetite and blood sugar response. Another is tesamorelin. It's been shown that tesamorelin reduces visceral fat, particularly the dangerous fat that builds up around our organs. And when you've got that fat around your organs, it worsens the insulin resistance. AOD 9604, one of my favorites, they say it may help with improving how your body mobilizes stored fat. It turns it into energy by throwing your body into lipolysis. This can wipe out that stubborn subcutaneous fat. How about looking in the mirror at a six-pack instead of a keg? That'd be pretty cool, right? Or unless you want to look in the mirror and say, well, it's okay, I'm getting older, so that's just normal. Pair the right peptides with the lifestyle shifts, strength training, clean nutrition, proper recovery. I mean, I'll tell you what, you can help rewire the circuit instead of just patching it. You can restore the flow, improve efficiency, and get out of the crash zone. Bottom line, insulin resistance is the silent handbrake on your metabolism. If you leave it unchecked, it leads to prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, accelerated aging. But with the right interventions, nutrition, behavioral, and biochemical, you can flip the switch back on and restore the power to your system. I don't want to ignore the environmental toxins. You know, we live in a day and age, we're living in a chemical soup. Every day we're swimming in toxins, plastics that leach out chemicals in our food, our water, pesticides coating the produce we eat, household cleaners and fragrances filled with endocrine disruptors, heavy metals that are in our environment, processed food additives. They're all designed, processed food additives, they're designed, people think, oh, well, somebody, it'll be healthier that way. No, they're not designed with human life in mind. They're designed for shelf life. The list is endless and it just continues to grow. At first glance, it seems, it's so small, right? I know this because I used to feel the same way. But here's the truth, guys. Toxins accumulate. So they get into our body and they don't come out. And they just keep building and they keep building. They don't always hit you like a car crash. They work like a slow leak in your foundation, silent and relentless. Over time, they just chip away at your health until the damage is just unavoidable. Here's how it plays out in the body. The endocrine disruption. These chemicals interfere with your hormone system, the very network of glands that controls all of your energy, metabolism, your mood. They mimic or block natural hormone signals, leaving your system confused and completely out of balance. Your body no longer knows what to do. Oxidative stress. Think of this as cellular rusting. Just like metal corrodes when it's exposed to the elements, your cells corrode under the constant barrage of free radicals. And all of these free radicals are created by toxin exposure. This rust, it weakens your tissues, weakens your DNA, and all of your repair systems. Our age accelerating. Recovery slows. Fat metabolism stalls. Brain function just dips. even fertility declines. These toxins, they speed up the crash by putting your cells to work harder, all while giving them less fuel to rebuild. Here's the crazy part. We don't even notice when it's happening. There's no warning siren. There's no flashing red light. It's that slow drip, just weakening the structure until one day, complete fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, chronic inflammation. Shows up just like a crack in the wall. By then, the foundation has already been compromised. This is why detoxification, guys, it's not just a buzzword. It's a survival strategy. Supporting your liver, kidneys, and gut, minimizing exposure where possible. I don't believe that we can live a 100% clean lifestyle, but we could do what we can to minimize the exposure. Leveraging tools like saunas, nutrition, certain peptides. These can all help your body fight back against the soup that you're living in. Bottom line, toxins are the invisible accelerators of the metabolic crash. The less attention you give them, the more power they have. Next, we have to call a focus to micronutrient deficiencies. You know, the age-old saying, you are what you eat. That's not the whole story. The truth is, you are what you absorb. It doesn't matter how perfect your diet looks on paper. If your body can't extract, absorb, and utilize the nutrients inside of that food, the deck is stacked against you. Check this out. So modern farming is depleting the soil of minerals. Processed foods are stripping away whatever little remains. Stress, poor gut health, they just impair the absorption. And medications, everything from antacids to statins, well, they just block key nutrients even further. The result, even if you eat healthy, you walk around with deficiencies that quietly sabotage your performance, your energy, and more importantly, your longevity. So here's some big players that most people are missing. Magnesium, zinc, B12, vitamin D. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It's a hormone-like master regulator. It actually impacts your immunity, bone health, mood, hormone balance. Deficiency of this is linked to fatigue, low mood, and poor resilience. Omega-3s, anti-inflammatory powerhouses. They protect the brain, optimize metabolism, and they support your heart. So here's the kicker. Deficiency is just one of these that can drag you down. You start stacking a few of these together, well, that's the recipe for a metabolic crash. That's the recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for shortening your lifespan. So why does supplementation matter so much? The old belief that a balanced diet gives you everything you need, it doesn't hold up in today's world. Modern life, unfortunately, demands strategic supplementation to bridge the gaps. Your magnesium glycinate or citrate to calm the nerves, high quality zinc balanced with copper to keep your hormones on fire, sublingual and methylated B12 for those people who have a problem with absorption, vitamin D3 paired with K2 for optimal absorption and bone and heart support, fish oil or algae-based omega-3s to flood the system with anti-inflammatory support. And when the deficiencies are stubborn enough or the energy demands are higher, advanced tools like peptides, that's where they come in and they amplify the impact. Things like BPC 157, known to improve gut health and absorption so that your supplements and food actually work. Thymosin alpha 1, TA1, boosts your immune system in synergy with the micronutrients. GHKCU, the copper peptide, supports cellular repair alongside zinc and magnesium. See, the goal isn't just to take vitamins. The goal is to restore your cellular function. Proper supplementation combined with smart nutrition and peptide support is like upgrading the operating system of your body. It runs faster, smoother, and stronger. So I want to start pulling it all together. So why does the crash happen? Because these forces don't act alone. They all compound. Your hormones decline, making it harder to build muscle. Less muscle means more fat, which worsens insulin resistance. Stress raises cortisol, which further damages your blood sugar control and hormone balance. Nutrient deficiencies and toxins accelerate the decline. The crash isn't sudden, it's slow, relentlessly stacking of visible dominoes. One day you look in the mirror or you wake up exhausted again and realize they've all fallen. The good news, once you see it, once you're willing to embrace it, you can reverse it. So what's the science say? The science tells us that, studies show that resting metabolic rate can decline 1% to 2% per decade over 30. Women lose bone density and muscle mass more rapidly after perimenopause begins. Men's testosterone levels are 50% lower today than in men 30 years ago. Insulin resistance now affects over, get this, 88% of American adults. Guys, I'm not sharing this stuff to scare you. I'm sharing it to show you what we're up against and why you need a new strategy. And you see, this is exactly why I chose to add a longevity practitioner certification to my arsenal. I realized that along with mindset coaching, nutrition, and peptide strategies, I needed to build onto these in order to be as effective as I possibly could for my clients. I've invested the time, the energy, the money, so you don't have to. The reality is that biohacking, nutrition, and optimization, they're not just trends, guys. They're here to stay. They're lifelines. But unfortunately, most people aren't getting the guidance that they need. And they're playing, here's the reality. Most people that I talk to, they're playing Russian roulette with their health. And how are they doing that? They're relying on the information from so-called experts on social media platforms. Oh, well, I heard this and I saw this and I think I need this and I think I need that. And where are you getting this information from? Some influencer. Look, I know, guys, aging is inevitable. It's going to happen. It happens. We can't stop the clock. But here's the truth. How you age is in your hands, no one else's. How you look, move, think, and feel over the next 10 years isn't predetermined. It's a direct result of the choices that you make today. You don't have to accept fatigue as your new normal. You don't have to settle for weight gain, brain fog, low drive, or shrinking confidence. Your metabolism doesn't have to crash unless you let it, and your body isn't your enemy. It's waiting for you to show up and take control. This isn't about chasing youth or living forever. I've had several people say, oh, you just want to live forever. No, it's not. It's about building a stronger, sharper, more intentional version of you. It's about living life to its fullest, feeling the best that you can possibly feel. We're all given choices. 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago, I was left with a choice: live or just slowly die. You know what, guys? I chose to live. And I chose to live like I hadn't lived in years. Embrace what I had allowed to change and change it back. You want to change your life, guys? Then change your lifestyle. Stop looking for that magic pill. Stop allowing what society says you should be and how you should act. Do it now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Take responsibility, take ownership, and make it happen. It all starts with the ownership. Nobody's coming to save you. Let me say that again. No one is coming to save you. And the best time to step into that ownership, it's not tomorrow, guys. It's right now, today. This is your second act. And if you choose it, it won't just be good, I promise. It'll be the best chapter of your life. One that's filled with strength, clarity, purpose, and impact. And I'll leave you with this, guys. Until next time, this is Tony Cammarata. I love sharing this stuff with you guys. I appreciate your support. I mentioned a few weeks ago, we broke the 1,000 listener mark. I'm proud of all of you, all of my listeners, and the support that they give to me, and for embracing the inevitable and for embracing the things that they need to do, for taking ownership, for stepping up to the plate for themselves, for their families, for their loved ones, for their friends, their coworkers, and the people they lead. Always stay fast, stay fluid, stay flexible. And remember this: your best years are yet to come.